Coming up on the Saturday Scouting Report, which team would man up in Menifee, Heritage, or Paloma Valley? Cats and dogs don't get along, especially when battling for the smudge pot. Redlands versus Rev. The team to beat in the Southwestern League remains Vista Murrieta. Chaparral would not be stumped by Great Oak. And Norte Vista met up with rival La Sierra. All that and much more coming up on the show, brought to you by Paradise Chevrolet, your premier Temescal Chevrolet and Cadillac dealer, serving San Diego County, Riverside County, and beyond. And Hemet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, your hometown dealer. Check out their first anniversary sale. Get your game face on. We're coming out swinging on the Saturday Scouting Report. It starts now.
Yo, Pep, I'm Chris Stratton. Welcome to HS Game Time.
My boy Chris Stratton from Chaparral, getting the party started here at HS Game Time. Thanks for watching. I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll get to Stratton's Pumas in just a moment, but we start elsewhere in the Southwestern League. The massive matchup between Vista Murrieta and Murrieta Valley. Both teams 7-0 heading into the game. Broncos head coach Coley Candell keeping a careful eye on his team, making sure they don't drop one in league play against the Nighthawks. Murrieta Valley looking for the first score, but there is Sua Cravens picking off the Nighthawks quarterback Andrew Blake, and he is off to the races all alone. 98 yards for the interception return for the touchdown. The Broncos rolling again on offense. Quarterback Nick Stevens lets it fly to Colin Baker. He's in for the touchdown, and Vista Murrieta led 28-0. The Nighthawks hoping to get back into this game and crack into that Vista lead. Running back Javier Ragudo goes in for the touchdown, and Murrieta Valley is on the board 28-7. Right before halftime, it's 3 more for Vista Murrieta on the leg of Aaron Ruth. It's all good. 32-yard field goal for the Broncos. Now in the second half, check out the new weapon at wide receiver for Vista Murrieta. Darius Jeter, the transfer from Rancho Christian, hauling in the nice catch there. Now it's Murrieta Valley on offense, and they're trying to move down the field. Andrew Blake finds a wide open Terrence Solomon. He is gone 80 yards on this touchdown connection. And then we get a little chippy on the end of this one. Just a little friendly talk, I'm sure. I doubt they became friends on Facebook. Maybe they are. Who knows? I'm on Facebook too. Vista would finally put this game away after that Mr. USC guy, Sua Cravens, comes in on the linebacker blitz for the sack. The Broncos follow up with this. Keyshawn Holmes. What up, Holmes? In for the touchdown. This one to push the lead to 38-14. And Vista Murrieta remains undefeated, winning 45-17. And now it's on to our HS Game Time poll question from this past week. Who is the biggest game changer in the inland area? And Sua Cravens, no big surprise, gets the vote here. There was also a strong case made for Redlands' Craig Lee, and you'll see why as we have highlights from Craig Lee in the smudge pot game against Redlands East Valley. Now it's on to Chaparral, taking on Great Oak.
Yo, Pep, I'm paying rent. Welcome to HS Game Time.
You got that right, Stratton. You're the man. And I'm not just saying that. He's a big-time player making big-time plays like this right there. The touchdown strike goes for 80 yards. Chris Stratton to the house. 7-zip Chaparral. And Chris Stratton lives here at HS Game Time. Back the other way, here comes Great Oak, and they go to the ground game. They give the ball to Jacob Certeza, and he's moving the chains after a nice run there. Picks up a big chunk of yards. But later on that drive, the Pumas defense, they roll the dice. Cameron Gamble with the stop and the sack. So the Pumas, they go back on offense and they give the ball to Justin Harris. Harris Cinco out of the backfield, 27 yards, and he's in for the touchdown, 14-zip Chaparral. But now it's Great Oak. They're on offense, and check out Brandon Presley. He hauls in the catch, and then later on that drive, the Wolfpack would capitalize. They get the touchdown to make it 14-7. So it was a close ball game, but Chaparral would keep their lead. Harris, again, 44 yards on this touchdown run as Chaparral goes on to win 21-14, your final score. So look out for the Pumas and Vista Murrieta in the final week of the regular season. Redlands remains in the hunt for the Citrus Belt League title after a big win on Friday night against Rev for the Smudge Pot Trophy. According to the fans who voted online, Redlands versus Rev is the biggest rivalry game in inland Southern California. It's a fact. Number 1. Check out all the fans, about 8,000 of them at Dodge Stadium for this contest. Early on, bad snap by Rev. Anthony Aguila for the Terriers recovers, and that's a touchdown, 7-zip Redlands. Then back the other way, Rev quarterback Levi Plant on the touchdown run as this game went back and forth all night long. Later, Terriers on offense, quarterback Jimmy Walker to Jordan Ory, number 4, in for the score, and Terriers are on top 14-7. Then back the other way, back and forth we went. Plant on the keeper, and check out Joseph Price, the big man, number 77, pushing the entire pile, pulling it into the paint, and that goes in for a touchdown. Price should get the touchdown on that one. Rev trailing 21-14. And then later, Craig Lee bound for UCLA, 70 yards on the touchdown run as the Terriers built a 28-17 lead at halftime. So now we go to the third quarter. It's Jimmy Walker going to pass, but there is Daniel Gonzalez for Rev coming up with the interception, and the Wildcats would capitalize on their favorite pastry, the turnover. Plant goes in for the touchdown. That makes it 28-23, Redlands still on top. Later in the third quarter, the Terriers extend their lead when Lee gets loose again for another touchdown, making it 34-23. Now we go to the fourth quarter. Rev still hanging around. Plant on the QB keeper. Get in there. 34-29. The Wildcats only 5 down, but here comes the knockout punch. Walker to Walter Jones from their own 5-yard line. That goes for 95 yards in the touchdown as Redlands wins the smudge pot for the first time since 2006, 41-37. Here's a look at our HS Game Time Top 10. The Terriers could be on the move, climbing up after that big win in the rivalry game against Rev. You'll have to check out Tuesday's Press Enterprise to check out the newest Top 10 rankings. Heritage and Elsinore continue their collision course for Sunbelt supremacy after each kept their undefeated league record intact. The Patriots winning a big one versus Paloma Valley in the Menifee Bowl. Before the Patriots and Wildcats squared off, they retired the jersey of number 2, Donovan Adams, the former Heritage High football star who was killed in a car crash earlier this year. We'll have more on Donovan Adams in the Monday morning pep rally. And here's what they were playing for, the Menifee Bowl trophy. These two in-town rivals battling and, more importantly, both challenging for a league championship. Early on, David Solis for the Wildcats breaks off the big run, but here comes Jamal Morrow. Super bad, strips it loose, and the Patriots would recover. So Heritage on offense, Matt Bradshaw, the quarterback, to my guy, Evan Rodriguez. Erod the catch, takes the big hit from Solis, but he holds on to the rock. Same drive, Paloma Valley coming up with some big defensive plays. Charlie Wallace in for the sack there to stall the Patriots' drive. Now we move to the second quarter. Still no score when it's super bad. 85 yards on this touchdown run by Jamal Morrow. Got a big block from my guy Erod as Heritage goes up 7-0. Later in the second quarter, more from Heritage. They drive down and set up Logan Netter, and he boots the field goal to extend the Patriots' lead to 10-zip. But Paloma Valley would strike back just before halftime. Britt Bohm, Bebo to Matt Orzek for the big gain, and then it's Bebo to C.J. Parker on the touchdown strike. It was 10-7, Heritage leading at halftime, and the Patriots go on to win the Menifee Bowl by a final score of 24-13. Elsinore taking on Temescal Canyon. The Tigers also 3-0 in league play, as is Heritage. Temescal Canyon, though, coming up with a big stop here on Allen Stubbs. The Tigers usually rolling on Stubbs, but they get the big stop there. And then later, it's Elsinore. They come up with a big defensive play, the big tackle for the loss. Temescal Canyon had a hard time moving on that Elsinore defense, but Sean Trimble, the quarterback for the Titans, picking up a couple of yards here. But the big guy in this game was the Tigers' Shane Pico. 163 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Elsinore goes on to win 35-20. They are 3-0 in the Sun Belt, as is Heritage, and that game in Week 10 is going to be a great one. Norte Vista now has the inside track for the River Valley League title, with games against Jurupa Valley and Patriot remaining in the regular season. The Braves battled La Sierra, their big rival. Both teams entered the game 2-0 in league play, so first place on the line. La Sierra with the ball, and they give it to Jonathan McCoy, and he picks up a big chunk of yards. And then later on that same drive, McCoy did the work. Time to get paid. McCoy cashes in, 6-zip La Sierra. Then back the other way, Norte Vista had a couple big plays on offense, and it would be enough in this one. DeAndre Castanon, 69 yards on this touchdown run. Nobody in front of him. 6-6, we're all tied up. Now it's La Sierra with the ball again. Quarterback Derek Cruz to Aquari Eddington to move the chains. And then it's La Sierra punting. They would not score on this drive. Bad snap, and the Braves are all over it. They are deep in La Sierra territory, so good news for the Novi offense, and they would capitalize. Andrew Martinez gets the call. Get in there. 12-6, stays on his feet for the touchdown. The Eagles would strike back in this rivalry game. Cruz to Johnny Salazar. A Johnny Salazar sighting for the touchdown. 13-12, Eagles on top. But before halftime, Novi would do it again. Justin Spillman to quick out to Victor Gonzalez, and he will do the rest. Down the sideline he goes, 65 yards on the touchdown. Novi, first place in the River Valley League with a 27-13 win. The Inland Valley League title is still wide open, and definitely don't count out the Rancho Verde. The Mustangs will meet Arlington this Friday in a game that will determine first place. The Rancho Verde took on North on Thursday. North and the Rancho Verde looking to keep pace with Arlington in the league standings. First quarter, Mustangs on their own 10. Cedric Peterson gets the call. I don't always score touchdowns, but when I do, they go for 90 yards. Peterson to the house, and the Rancho Verde up 7-zip. Then back the other way, the Huskies quarterback Joseph Garcia hits Marcus Baugh, who shakes a tackler and picks up a big chunk of yards. Nice play by the future Buckeye. That sets up a Cole Bailey field goal, his first of 2 field goals in the first half. To the second quarter, the Mustangs go back to the ground game. Malcolm Hill, back in his number 39 jersey, feels more comfortable in that one, squirts through traffic and finds the paint. 14-3 Mustangs. Later in the second, North with the ball. The Mustangs playing physical on defense. Damone Backus, the big hit, jars the ball loose. Dejon Wise scoops it up and takes it back 45 yards for the score. Mustangs on top 21-6 at the break. Third quarter, Rancho Verde works DeMaurier Stringfellow into the passing game. Stringfellow hauls in this pass, and then later on that same drive, Keyshawn Slaughter on the carry. Get in there. Mustangs leading 28-6. Later in the third, Huskies now on offense. Jason Bell Wilson makes the great catch, but he pays the price. Wise is there to call down the thunder. Same drive, Garcia going to the air to Denzel Foster, tips the pass, and still makes the touchdown catch while sitting down on the job. Great play, Denzel. Later in the third, the Mustangs finally put this one away on the Peterson touchdown run, his second of the game. The Rancho Verde wins 34-13, setting up a big one with Arlington next week.
You know, the game I felt like of our league was going to be against Arlington. I seen them early and I was like, man, they got some decent linemen and good running backs, so, you know, we got to prepare. Starting tomorrow, we're going to prepare all the way through the week, and, you know, we got to get better each and every day so we can take lead.
Santiago is still in the running for the Big 8 title. A perfect 3-0 so far. The Sharks travel to King this week, but mark your calendars for Week 10 of the regular season when Santiago collides with mighty Centennial. The Sharks took on Corona. Early in this one, Danny Lara, the field goal for the Panthers. Then back the other way, Santiago's Joey Camarillo. Some tough run in here, and he's got a first down for the Sharks. Later, it's Michael Darr, the quarterback for Santiago. The touchdown strike to A.J. Mose, and the Sharks are on the board. Then it's Darr calling his own number on the ground. Dude will not go down into the paint for another Sharks touchdown. Darr is a threat to throw and on the ground. Check out, backed up deep in their own territory, but he breaks off a nice run here to give Santiago a little bit of breathing room back there. Then back the other way, Corona. It's Lara again, another field goal for the Panthers. But too much Santiago in this one. Darr to Jordan Huffman. Count it as Santiago wins 49-13. Now it's on to Centennial, the king of the rings, but they would be in for a scare early against King on Thursday night. King starts off the game with a little surprise. They come out with the onside kick, and they would recover the ball. And they wouldn't stop there. The Wolves would move their way down the field, and it's running back Dylan Holsey punching in the score for the early 7-zip King lead. One more for King later in the first half. Kendall Moore in the backfield. Nothing doing on the right side. Moore hits the brakes, finds himself on a breakaway for the end zone, and King on top, 14-zip. Could we have a King-size upset here? Well, Matt Logan would regroup the troops, and Centennial gets back to work. Running back Trey Watson, listening to his beats by Trey, going in for 6, shaking past the Kings defense. It's now 14-7 late in the first. Now it's more from the Centennial running game. This time it's Austin Rankin. He's one of the 1-2 punch on the ground for the Huskies. He's in for the score, making it 14-13. Kings still on top. Centennial would fire right back. You're only making them angry. Centennial QB Robert Weber, the deep ball to Barry Ware. Beware for the touchdown, 28-17. Centennial led at the half. King hoping to keep things interesting, driving down the field early in the third quarter, but the pass picked off by Anthony Nelson. So the Huskies are back in business, and it's Robert Weber going to Beware. Now, I told you, beware of the touchdown strike. His second of the game, 10th of the season, and the Huskies would keep their foot on the gas in the fourth quarter. Weber to his buddy Joe Wheat for the score. Centennial, after the early scare, goes on to cruise in this one, 49-17. Banning finds itself all alone atop the Mountain Valley League standings after Citrus Valley of Redlands knocked off Rim of the World. Banning will host the Blackhawks this Friday. The Broncos took on Notre Dame at RCC. You know what the Broncos are going to do. It's just you have a hard time stopping it. It's the Sty Hairston experience. 80 yards early in this game to put Banning on the board first, 7-zip. Notre Dame, to their credit, would fight back. Quarterback Paul Bradvica polyguaps to Zach Kelvington for the touchdown. So Notre Dame hoping to make a game out of this one, but on the ensuing kickoff, it's the Sty Hairston experience. Let's see. Let me count the ways. He throws passes, he runs the ball, kick returns, punts. Sty Hairston, the experience, does it all. 99 yards, some would argue 100 yards on this touchdown. Sty Hairston, as you might expect, had a huge game, a touchdown here. And how about another touchdown on the ground? And the Broncos led 27-7. We also had some Banning defense in this one. Babra Edwards coming up with the interception for Banning. So the Broncos go back on offense, and guess what they do? Big shocker here, right? Sty Hairston, you know what they're going to do? And they do it well. The Sty Hairston experience goes in for another touchdown. Banning led 34-7, and the Broncos go on to win 62-31. It's an election year, and it's our HS Game Time duty to vote for our favorite player and play of the week.
Player of the week.
Player of the week goes to Redlands' Craig Lee. 253 yards, 2 touchdowns as the Terriers beat Rev and captured the smudge pot in front of about 8,000 fans at Dodge Stadium. Lee is headed to UCLA, and he's also headed to HS Game Time glory as the Scouting Report Player of the Week.
Play of the week.
The play of the week goes to some guy named Sua. Have you heard of him? Vista Murrieta, Sua Cravens making a huge play in a battle with previously undefeated Murrieta Valley. The future USC Trojan with the interception, then 98 yards back the other way to the paint. Go ahead and do the math. A pick 6 that's longer than Honey Boo Boo's 15 minutes of fame. Don't boo Sua Cravens. He's got the HS Game Time Play of the Week. There's only one place to find all your high school football highlights from inland Southern California, and that's HS Game Time. I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll do it again next Saturday on the Scouting Reports.